6:06. Welcome back into the show, Superstation 101 Leland Live. Good to have you with us. Got something a little different for you this hour. We want to talk a little business. Our attention a lot of times on this show is about the economy, surviving it, dealing with it, looking for opportunities in some of the despair that's out there based on the news and the politics of the day. And to pull all that together for us tonight, we got some new partners of ours here at Superstation. First Partners Bank. Hal Shepard, how you doing?
Great.
Good to have you in here with us. First time on the radio?
Yes.
It's a piece of cake. It's just talking, right?
Correct.
All right, well, good to have y'all, Hal and Hunter Shepard. Father and son, right?
That's it.
How'd y'all wind up in the same business with each other?
It was an accident.
Really?
Yeah.
Do I really want to know? I worked for my dad one time. I couldn't take it very long.
Yeah, he paid me off. So.
Yeah. He was harder on me than he was the other employees.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Well, he takes it easy on me, so life is good.
No. All right, one of those, huh? You got to crack the whip on him, Hal.
Correct.
All right. Look, First Partners Bank, let me just introduce the bank to, and then what we want to do is talk about what's going on in this business environment, what you guys are seeing, and how businesses can be helped. And you've got some things that you do there that I think are outstanding. I've actually had the privilege of moderating one of your forums. We talked about Obamacare right after the election. I remember the panic looked on all those business owners' faces. You guys go out in the community and reach out and teach people about opportunities out there and how to deal with these things. And you try to partner with them as a bank, and I think it's kind of how we do business here. We try to help and become real partners with the businesses we do business with. And so you guys are doing that in a very special way. And I know we've got an event coming up here pretty soon. But First Partners started back in 2012, I understand? Is it under a different name, and then y'all have advanced it from there?
Well, we're with the Kennion group. So
okay.
we're
but you're with the Kennion group with First Partners, right?
Yeah. We partner with them. But the Kennion group's really focused on helping the small businesses in Alabama and large businesses. And what's gotten everybody stirred up now is Obamacare.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So what do we make of it? We're days away. We were just talking about it in the last segment. We're just days away. We don't know if they're going to defund it. Probably not. So businesses are all doing their strategies right now to survive it.
Yeah, and what we've seen is a lot of confusion with the exchanges coming up in October, if they're even going to be opening up.
Yeah.
And they just announced today that they delayed the, mandate or requirement, the penalty for sending out the notices about the exchanges. So that makes us think that what's going to happen October 1st, if they're even going to be able to get them out there and open them up.
And our state's not participating in it. We're letting the federal government do it for us. So does that delay it even worse, Hal?
Correct. Well, a lot of people, especially politics, have jumped on Bentley for not getting into the exchange program.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand is what they really wanted to do was to increase the Medicaid. The poor people in the state can get Medicaid. Well, the federal government under this program wanted to increase the number of Medicaid participants, maybe double in Alabama. And while the federal government would have paid money for that, over time, the state of Alabama would have had to pick that up. So I think Bentley was wise, as many other states have, to not get into that. Let the feds do it, see if it works.
It's their liability. It's their problem.
That's correct.
Does it put businesses at a disadvantage they've stuck with this plan? I know there was a delay on some of the employer mandate, but they still got to calculate the whole year. And so you're seeing people drop under 49 and under 50 employees and dropping people back to 29 hours, and it's just changing the business model.
That's correct. Especially the fast food restaurants. We do a number of those, have those as clients, and people that are low paid, the model just doesn't work, that they can have to pay this amount of money for the health insurance. It doesn't work. But the thing we're seeing more of is, and what we recommend to clients, is that they not change their business model to impact the health care. In other words, don't drop below 50. If you really need 55 people, keep the 55 people, because that's work for you, because you really don't know what's going to happen month to month, year to year, and next year. We think it'll continue, but it might not. So don't change your business model because of the healthcare.
You mean stay with it and assume that these things are going to get fixed, or assume the liability and just keep your employees happy? What are you saying?
Well, if you're close to 50, over 50, you have to pay for the health insurance. But what actually happens, and a lot of people misunderstand it, you don't have to provide employees with health insurance. You just have to offer it. And what we found in surveys is only about 10 or 20% of the employees will actually take it because they still have to pay for it. They have to pay at least half of the cost. And so what we see is that if you have 75 or 100 employees and offer it, you might only have 30 or 40 or 50 of those employees take the health plan. And then that way the employer has to pay part of the share. So it's not like you have to provide health insurance for 100 employees.
Where do the other people go? Where do the other employees go for health insurance?
What's happened today in Alabama, if you go around and ask employers, about half the employees don't take the health insurance that's offered, like Blue Cross or United or whoever. They get it from their spouse, where the spouse works. There's a large part of the population that just says, I don't want it. I'm not going to take it. And currently, there's not really a penalty that amounts to anything. I think it's $95 a year. If you don't buy the health insurance, you have to pay $95 a year. So it's really not much of a penalty. And the other thing that people don't think about is that starting in 2014, all the health insurance is guarantee issue, no health questions. So a lot of people have told us they will just wait, have something happen to them, and then they'll just go buy it after the fact, especially the young
Yeah,
people.
because the pre-existing thing's wiped out.
Correct.
So you just wait for catastrophe. If you're young over here like Hunter and you're bulletproof and you're not going to get sick, you don't need to worry about it.
Correct.
So they just bail.
And that's what people really believe is going to mess up these exchanges, because for them to work, they have to have a mix of young people and old people and healthy people in the program. And the healthy people and the young people really don't think are going to go into these exchanges.
Because it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. You got to have healthy people paying in that aren't using it to pay for all the older people that may also be paying, but they're using it more. You take the payers out of that equation, how does the thing even stay solvent? How does it work?
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And if you read some of these internal things from the Obama administration, that's one of the fears that they have, is that the population, they call them the males, 22 to 30,
Right.
if they're not in the program, it's just not going to work. And most of those guys, like Hunter, people that are right out of college, 25, 35, 40 years old even, if they're not in the program, it's not going to work.
Now, when I was invited to help with the seminar that we did that you guys were at, and it was sponsored by First Partners, and they were nice enough to invite us, and your company was there. There's a lot of doom and gloom in the room, and a lot of confusion. A lot of business owners showed up, and they were just weren't sure what the rules were. Are we any better off in terms of having information right now, about a year later? I mean, do we really know any more?
Yeah, and majority of businesses are less than 50, so it doesn't really apply to them. So what we've seen is, that employers want to offer health insurance. So if they can come up with a way to do that that's affordable, then they certainly do that. And the over 50, all those employers are already offering health insurance. So, what the Affordable Care Act really was focused on is for the uninsured, or those people who might not be able to get it through, who are not working, or who don't have it through their employer. Because, as you know, if you are offered a plan through your employer and it's affordable, then they can't go out to the state exchange or to the federal marketplace and get a subsidy.
So is Alabama ever going to take control? Can the federal government even implement the exchange here? Or do you have confidence in that?
Yeah, they're going to run that through the federal marketplace. So, and I think there's 3 insurers: Blue Cross Blue Shield, United,
Humana.
And Humana is going to be offering plans.
So when?
That's going to be supposedly starting October 1st.
Supposedly, that's the operative word right here.
Yeah.
Do you have confidence in that?
We'll see. They've kind of delayed the employer mandate for next year, but we'll see what happens October 1st. They say it's going to go live, and that's going to be for the state-specific exchanges as well as the federal marketplace, and enrollment through the end of the year, and then effective dates of January 1st.
So you guys are a lot more confident than I am about this whole thing happening.
Yeah, I think politically, the Republicans most of the Republican states have said, we're not going to go into our own exchange. We're going to have the federal exchange. But it's very difficult to do away with the politically, the candy, if you want to call it that, the good things that have been passed out and given to people. So if it's consumer and it's good, we think those things will stay. If it costs something or it's bad, those might be taken away, or if it hurts somebody. Politically, they're not going to do anything that's bad. That's why they keep postponing it
Yeah, just keep putting
until
it
the
off.
next election.
is this next few days and this battle in Congress going to change any of this? I mean, outside of something actually passing, just the rhetoric on it won't change the timetable on what you guys are seeing on the ground here.
No, it's political, and what I tell people is if you look at your mail and see what you're getting, most of it's just political, and there's really not anything that anybody's going to do. Our opinion is that you should, if you're for it or against it, the effect of it's going to be positive in many ways, and the negative is going to probably go away because the politicians want to please their constituents. So what's going to happen is if it's a good thing, positive, it seems to be good from a consumer standpoint, then it'll continue. If it's seen as a bad thing, then it'll change it.
Sure they will, yeah. You say just augment it because the core of the thing's kind of, we're just stuck with it.
Right. Correct.
And that's your analysis.
And there are good things. I think the guarantee issue from a health insurance standpoint is a good thing because there have been people out there, not very many, not 30 million, but maybe a few 100,000 people that couldn't get health insurance. They had serious illness. So, well, now they can.
But who's going to pay for all that?
Well,
you and me.
The consumer.
How's that a good thing? Hey, man, I'm looking at it from that side.
Right.
Yeah. Has it gotten any cheaper?
No, when they get into cost containment and trying to hold down costs to provide these services, that's when we start. You don't feel we'll see rationing and situations where this book says you can pay for this and this book says you can't, so you don't get your surgery.
The real underlying reason for the passage is the cost of health care for the government, Medicare, older people,
sure,
Medicaid on the local level, that this law did absolutely nothing to reduce the overall cost of that. And potentially in the future, these rationing boards that I'm sure you've talked about before, the cost of, you can't do anything about people getting older. If you're older, it's going to cost more, but you can because of your health. And what we know from studies is that about 50% of healthcare usage is not really necessary. And there's another high percentage that's based on being overweight or smoking or lifestyle changes. So there are things that the population can do and kind of push. And one of the things that we haven't seen in Alabama that other states are doing is if you raise the deductible up so it's more, you got more skin in the game as the consumer. So you have to pay more when you go to the doctor and hospital, maybe having a high deductible plan. You're going to think about using it a little bit more, and that tends to reduce cost. And that's one reason the cost hasn't been going up as much in the last several years. It's because of the higher deductibles.
The confusion that's out there, and I'm particularly talking to the small business owners that listen to us heading home late like they tend to do. You know, they're out there working late. They're in traffic right now. Where do they go to find out this information? I'm hearing so much confusion. It's just the rules and regulations for this stuff are, what did I hear the other day? It's 10 times longer than the Bible. It's unbelievable. How do they do their compliance?
Yeah, I mean, of course, the federal government's website is actually pretty clear in what they're trying to do. Our website as well is Kennion.com, and that's got some information on there. But, what we've found is there's a lot of local attorneys, a lot of local accountants, business professionals that are really helping guide their clients. And, so I think that, working with as things have settled down, people maybe aren't as scared. It becomes a financial type thing. How do you budget for it? How do you manage it for the long term? And I think it's more looking for the strategy than really kind of, I think it's not as stirred up as it used to be. So
the chain retailers and the chain fast food, you were talking about the fast food businesses and things that you work with, they've made these moves to knock employees down under the 29-hour cap and all that because of just the sheer size. When you compound that out in terms of the fines and the liability of this program for them, it's just bigger the bigger your company. But the smaller businesses around here could probably on the fly adjust to this. And is that what I'm hearing from you?
Correct. If they reduce down, like Hunter said, the vast majority of businesses in the country and in Alabama have less than 50 employees.
Yeah.
So if you have employees, and we've seen this, if I had 60 and I could reduce down to 48 or 49, that's what I'm going to do. But you shouldn't do it if you're a growing business and say you had 45 and you say, well, I'm going to try to figure out a way to avoid going over 50. You really should let your business decision rule
be
that.
A business decision.
Yeah, and not use because you don't know what's going to happen. you know how to control your business and work on what you can control and not worry about what's going to happen with this legislation.
The other components, I guess, would be the environment that we're in, this economy that's still struggling to get back, other uncertainties. If you, in normal times, you had the option, I'm going to go ahead and hire these people or not, is this not a disincentive?
Correct, it is.
Yeah.
And the problem, as I said, it has done nothing to reduce the cost. The cost is still going up. And then number two, the uncertainty, because from a business perspective, and we're a business, if I'm not sure what's going to happen, then that's a drag on the economy and a drag on business decisions.
Uncertainty is always the gamble. I mean, that's where the gamble is.
Correct.
Yeah. Hey, we got to hit a quick break. Can y'all hang around with me for a little bit longer?
Sure.
6:21, real quick break. Back in a minute. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back into the show. 6:24. A little bit of a departure here, kind of a business block, talking to businesses. All this brought to you by our friends at First Partners Bank. Good folks, bringing in some of their partners, which I guess by extension are our partners because we're partners with First Partners. Y'all get all that? Charlotte Thompson and Jeana Fleming. I get that right?
Yes.
You guys, you're in a small business yourselves. You run a. Go ahead, Charlotte, and pull up on that microphone just a little bit there. Y'all are in small business yourself, doing what, bridesmaid stuff?
We are. We are the one-stop shop for everything bridesmaids.
People just get out of their minds when it comes wedding time, don't they?
You have no idea.
I can't imagine. I've got a son that just got engaged, so we're kind of getting into your world a little bit.
You will see.
I think she would be my future daughter-in-law. Has probably been by your shop a lot. How are things going right now in this environment? People keep getting married no matter what happens in the economy.
It's completely crazy.
Yeah.
Have to get married and I guess funerals.
It's been a wild ride, but it's really good. We just moved into a new big location, so we're able to double up.
And you're in Homewood, right?
We are, yes.
Is it changed a lot with the economy took a dip? Do people tend to change their taste or style or budgets in these times for what you're doing?
Definitely. We opened in 2007, so we have seen, our whole business just in general has changed drastically, but it's not really the economy so much. It's more so social media that's changed our business.
How so?
Everything from e-commerce to Charlotte, kind of take that over. Girls see stuff online, and we've really had to branch out and be able to offer like completely every line that's possible. Otherwise, they're going to go somewhere else.
Because unlike some stuff, you can order a part for your truck online, and it either fits or it doesn't. You got to come in and customize all that and try it on and do all that stuff.
Absolutely. Yep. There's a lot of customer service involved, but that's also kind of what we stand behind and what we really try to sell to our brides.
So I'm going to get you to brag a little bit. Bethany was telling me you guys are like number 2 or number 3 outside of New York for what?
We are in terms of sales and
wow.
Just
we're
the volume of.
So there's 46 stores now.
That's
and
outstanding.
We're number 3 out of the
It goes New York and Chicago and then Birmingham.
Is it a southern thing? We just take it all seriously down here?
Yeah, girls get married a little bit younger.
And the wedding parties are a lot bigger.
Large wedding parties. You're going to have college friends, high school, elementary. So we welcome as many people as they want to have.
Why do bridesmaids' dresses have to look so bad sometimes? Do y'all make them look better?
They have, yes. They've come
That's all I know about
they
what
have
you
come
do.
so far. They really have.
Is it the bride trying to show off and just puts everybody in the duck suit?
I think usually when the brides choose it, they're like, I want one for myself. But they have really come so far in the last 6 years.
And the thing, do you ever see customers come in and just, do you steer them away from hideousness? How do you handle that? I'm asking things I don't know about.
We absolutely definitely do.
We don't have hideous dresses, so that's one good thing.
Well, that would be good. They would, but even coming in with their ideas off the internet is what I mean. They come in and they go, I want to do this. You're like, honey, it's not 85 anymore, which is my world, right?
We do. We try to steer them in the right direction, and when they want our honest opinion, we do give it, but we do just try to make their reality or their dream become a reality with their bridesmaids in dresses.
Do men get drug in there sometimes and wander in?
Or my gosh, yes.
What do they do? What do they do while they're
like
just sitting
fish
there?
out of water.
Do y'all give them entertainment?
We need like Sports Center. We need some guy stuff in there, but we don't have anything.
Make a little guy corner over there.
Yeah.
Little
Just
man
Absolutely.
cave.
why do women drag their husbands to this? Because I'm afraid I'm going to get drugged into this.
I don't
And
know. Sometimes the brides want the fiance's opinion on everything from
On everything.
color to fabric to.
Right.
You would be surprised. So
We had a young lady in here that's engaged the other day that came through our business, and she said, "Yeah, we're doing our cake tasting." I thought, does cake ever taste bad?
I know.
Do you really have to do that? But I can see how the dress thing—that's the bigger picture stuff,
Yeah.
right? That's what everybody notices.
it definitely.
So
is.
you got the bridal stuff and the bridesmaid stuff.
We are just bridesmaids, so we focus
Oh,
on
okay.
one thing. The bride, can get her wedding dress. There's some great places in Birmingham, and then we just deal with the bridal party.
I'm going to ask you a Duck Dynasty question. Can you stay around a little bit
Yeah,
longer?
absolutely.
All right, I got a Duck Dynasty
Okay.
question. I think you know where I'm going with this. Do you know?
No.
All
All right, I'm going to surprise him and hit you
Okay.
cold with it when we come
Okay.
back. All right. We appreciate everybody. We're just hanging out, AJ. You can chime in here. I'm a fish out of water with this bridesmaids thing.
I have no idea.
No. But I'm telling you, dude, my world's about to go there. I'm about to be the dad. And I don't have to buy the bridesmaid dress, but I'm gonna have to learn all your stuff.
Yep.
It's gonna cost me eventually. All right, back here in just a minute. This is Leland Live business segment brought to you by our buddies at First Partners Bank. We're talking to the charming ladies at Bella Bridesmaid. What's the full name?
Bella
Bella
Bridesmaid.
Bridesmaid.
Bella Bridesmaid. See, I
Yep.
got it. I got it right.
Yeah.
How did I know? It's pretty creative. Back in a minute. We're really digging some Bruno Mars tonight, are we not? I just heard it in a promo, and
Yes,
AJ
a
came
little
right
bit.
back with it. What happened? You didn't think Charlie Daniels would be appropriate with this segment this time? What's wrong, dude? All right, y'all, welcome back into the show. Talking a little business tonight. Our friends at First Partners Bank bring us these segments, and from time to time we'll be talking to people that are experts on certain things. And this is a world I know nothing about. It's Bella's Bridesmaids. I've walked past your business 100 times, and I know I'm about to be in that world with my own kids. Before we do anything else, I want to talk about something that First Partners is doing. Bethany Meadows, who's with them and represents them. I made her come into the studio. She's an old friend of mine, but I made her go on the radio with me. Bethany, you guys, what I like about what you're doing is you're trying to educate people and inspire people to get in business, especially with the sponsorship of First Partners. And you do this Tools for Success program. You got a magazine that you put together, and you do these seminars and businesses and roundtables and so forth. What's the idea behind that?
Well, basically, the idea is to provide resources for the business community. Everything that we're doing with First Partners Bank is free. It's open to the community, whether or not you're a customer of the bank. We've also gone out, and of course, part of their focus is partnerships. So we've gone out and partnered with public libraries in the area, as well as the Chamber of Commerce's, and basically put together these workshop, seminar, event type things that business owners can attend and learn a little bit about moving their business forward, whether it be marketing or social media or just building the right team. We're covering those topics. And we actually have one coming up at the Homewood Public Library in the large auditorium on September 24th at 11:30.
So you don't need the
And-
list. You told me you
Yeah.
got it all down. You're putting this thing together. September 24th, and that's a huge room. It'll hold a lot of people.
It does. And actually, if you call and reserve your spot, we will provide lunch as well. So
I've got the number here. You want me to do the number for you? You got that
yeah,
memorized?
no, I don't have that memorized.
You can call Leslie West, and that number is 332-6620. And again, you were kind enough to invite me to help moderate one of these things. It is educational. There's so many people that walk in with small businesses with their questions, and they're there with their peers, and so they talk to each other. It's a good networking environment.
Yeah, and we're seeing two kinds of businesses, really. We're seeing the businesses that have been, like Bella Bridesmaid over the last 5-7 years. They've gone through a pretty tough economic period for small business owners. So there's the game has changed a lot. Marketing's changed a lot. I think they mentioned social media and how that changed their business. If you're a bride looking at bridesmaids dresses, you're bringing in your iPad with your Pinterest account with your board of all your things that you've pinned now. So that's just in the last couple of years. So things have changed a lot. So for business owners to really keep pace with what's going on in the marketplace, they have to be paying attention, and they need to be getting these resources to keep moving forward.
And you guys at Bella, y'all are a total success story. We were talking during the break, and I'm fascinated.
Thanks.
I had to learn about what you sell. Now let's just talk about business for a minute.
Okay.
You've been at it for 7 years. What made you jump into this business?
We really saw a great need in Birmingham and really in the state of Alabama for what our business is. And it's not only bridesmaid dresses, but it's really the service-based part of the whole wedding process with your bridesmaids. I mean, if you've got 10 bridesmaids, you want to make sure that they are taken care of, that if something were to happen, if someone ordered a dress too small, that, we are here to really help and to find a solution and to be there every step of the way to make the bride feel at ease. So.
But you saw a need in a place like Birmingham in the South,
Yes.
where ladies are ladies and everybody's frou-frou and weddings are a huge
Yes.
deal. There was just no business that did this here.
There was no by appointment business of this kind. Exactly.
So people felt like they had to leave town and drive to wherever, Atlanta or whatever to
yep.
go.
That's
And you
exactly
just
right.
filled a need.
We did.
It was the first step of a lot of businesses, people out there looking for ideas, find something
Absolutely.
that's not being done.
Absolutely.
And you did it and you've learned along the way, right?
We have absolutely learned along the way. And I feel like every single day, it's constantly, what can we do to really stay on top of things or to really, as I mentioned, our business has evolved and changed drastically over 7 years. And you just kind of stay up with it and really roll with the punches and try to figure out how you can change and sculpt your business to be relevant. And
You mentioned, Bethany mentioned social media, and you guys mentioned it too, how that's changed. I guess, and we talked about it, but service makes up the gap of what people think they can do online. If you can get service,
Absolutely.
in almost every business, we need that.
Absolutely. And I hate to say it, but there are so many brides and bridesmaids that there's so many websites that really aren't real that within the wedding industry, that you give your money to and then nothing arrives. So, it's peace of mind knowing that you've got us and we are there every step of the way to really help and to make it.
Instead of ordering it out of China and it just never gets there.
Absolutely. Yep.
Very nice wedding dress from China.
And it's not the same color you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this off-white. How off-white is it?
Yeah.
Green.
It's not even white.
Yeah.
Color is a big deal with the dress thing.
Yeah.
But surviving both the technology changes, she mentioned all these things that didn't even exist. Facebook wasn't even coming around 7 years ago.
Yes.
But now you've got what you mentioned, Pinterest, which I'm
yeah.
afraid of because people are apparently addicted to that.
Oh, yeah.
What that is allows people to get their ideas and sort of bring. Is that more helpful, or is it just how do you deal with that?
You can look at it
Blessing and
both.
curse, yeah.
You can look at it both ways. I think it's helpful. Girls come in and they are really aware of what's out there, and they can Facebook stalk people and see other dresses. I think it's helpful because it really does help to kind of reel in what they want, and we can see what they have, and then we can go from there. So.
Okay. So the lessons I'm learning from you about surviving and doing what you've done and adjusting is first up, find a need, focus on your service.
Absolutely.
I think those are good lessons to learn. And you've got a great location. Being
thank
right in the
you.
middle of Homewood, you're kind of in the epicenter of frou-frou for Birmingham.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then Birmingham is sort of centrally located for the whole state for people
Absolutely.
to come down from
It
Huntsville
sure
or wherever.
is. Yep.
So you picked a good spot.
We think so. We love it. So
Yep. You're going to be there for a little while.
Forever. Hope so.
I got to rat my wife out, okay? I'm gonna make. I won't be able to talk. She won't talk to me tonight. So I've got this new future daughter-in-law,
Yep.
and you know how girls are. Y'all are girls. Everybody's a girl, right? I'm in the kitchen making a ham sandwich, AJ, minding my business, and I hear this conversation from my wife. She's talking to I'll call her Hannah. That's her name.
Okay.
She's talking to Hannah, and she says, "So, what are your colors going to be?" I'm going, I need to stay out of this. And she goes, well, I think purple. And I could sense my wife was recoiling.
Mm-hmm.
You got mamas and daughters, but that's kind of the hot thing right now for what
It
y'all are doing,
is.
right?
Yeah, there's two right now, eggplant and violet. that
Eggplant. No,
Eggplant
we're
and
guys.
violet?
We don't know. Is that
Yeah.
purple?
It is.
Okay.
It's a darker purple. Eggplant and violet.
AJ and I
They're
only
big
know
right
like
now.
5 colors.
Yeah.
My daughter just got engaged as well, and she came to show me her ring
Yeah.
with the paint chips for her colors.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
The ring
What?
and the paint chips.
That's the two things. The
This-
girls have got to have the colors
yeah.
and the thing.
And it's
Not our
purple and
world right
green.
there.
Well, I got to say,
Purple
Lena,
and green. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're doing. We're going to have a purple and green
And
wedding.
Home Depot or Lowe's, I'm sure they see an influx of young girls, and it's not because they're painting their walls in their house. It's because they are picking out bridesmaid dress
Wait
colors
a minute.
with the paint
Girls
stuff.
go
So
get paint
What?
chips
absolutely,
from the hardware store.
we get them every single. We have girls bring them in every single day.
And
they will
that's what they bring in for the.
Yep.
And you could match it.
Well, I
How do you
mean,
figure it out? You
know,
get close?
some designers do have Pantone colors, so that's usually what paint swabs are, or Pantone. So we can get really close.
That's
We sure can,
amazing.
Yeah.
That's
knew?
crazy.
Yep.
You can't just paint the dress. I'm just
I
joking.
can spray
I'm
paint
kidding
it.
with you,
I can
yeah.
spray paint it any color.
Do you have a question, AJ? I thought you were about to say.
No,
something.
I'm just gonna say I didn't realize how many quote unquote purples they were.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I got thrown
there's
for a
a
loop with
whole-
ice blue one time. I was like, "What is ice blue?"
Did you know robin's egg was a color? Robin's egg. It's a
Robin's
blue-
egg?
Robin's egg. Yeah, I found that out.
Oh wow, did not
It's a
know
long
that.
story. Yeah. We're having guy chat over here on the side. So I'm just learning your business lessons, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. We're teaching people how to
Absolutely.
do it. So tenacity, good service, good location, finding a need, and hanging in there.
Absolutely.
And you guys have grown. You were telling me about the size of your space. You've almost, 5 or 6 times bigger than when it started. now.
Yes, we operated out of 600 square feet for 6 years, and
We
we
only had one dressing room for
we had-
about
yeah.
5
600 square feet.
It's tiny.
yes,
It's like
tiny,
these two
tiny,
rooms.
tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just saw a need to increase, and we saw that we were losing business, and that we had kind of maxed out what we could do in that that particular location. So luckily, we were able to move directly across the street.
There you go.
And now it's a world of difference. It's
All right,
really helped.
Inside baseball, you probably don't want to answer this question.
Okay.
Who's harder to deal with, mom or the bride? I got to know. Because you know how moms get.
Mhm.
Y'all don't want to answer that question, do you? Really?
Mom.
So you can take the bride kind of knows what she wants, but our mom's really is overbearing. Not all of them, but some of them can be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, every wedding party has its case. Sometimes it's the sister-in-law to be. Sometimes it is the fiance.
How do you steer mom away? How do you get mom
I feel like
distracted so
mom
you
always
can
wins.
throw a bone over there so mom can go do something else?
We really do.
Mom
try
wins.
We try to
I
be the
think so.
mediators.
I
That
feel like we've had moms that change the whole.
Probably because mom's paying.
Mom's got the checkbook.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do try to. We are. We try to be the mediators between the mother and the daughter, and really kind of help both of their visions.
Sure.
Meet as one and make everybody happy, because the bride's not going to make a decision if her mom's not happy, and vice versa. So.
Is there a mom dress side to this industry, you think? I mean, like off on the side? Have y'all thought about that?
We've definitely thought about
Yeah.
that. It's we are so crazy with just bridesmaids right now, but
Sure,
I mean,
yeah.
there's definitely a need for that in the area. So
I think what's smart about what you do, and I'm just a total out of my league right now.
Yeah.
I'm a novice, but is that you sell multiple versions of what you do,
You do.
rather than
Mhm.
just one big bride. I mean, you're going to sell 8 or 10 of these things,
Right,
once you
exactly.
get it figured out.
exactly.
That's pretty smart.
Oh.
Good stuff.
Yep.
AJ's yelling at me. We've got to take a break. I appreciate you coming by.
Thank you so much for
Spend a
having
little bit of
us.
time with me and educate me. a little bit.
Come
Absolutely.
see us when you're at Sam's.
I will. Yeah, I told him I said I eat lunch right across from there. I figured out where their location was.
And
It's
just send your daughter-in-law to be our way. So.
good. Look, I'll do that, but
Yeah.
as a grown man, I could not be seen walking alone into a bridesmaid's house.
Yeah, yeah.
Rumors
bring
and all that
AJ.
stuff.
Oh,
no, that would be even
that's
worse. Us two going into a bridesmaid shop.
We'll show you the whole color scheme, all the
Quit
purples.
it.
AJ.
I want pictures.
Oh, no, you don't.
No,
All right,
And I'm
Bella.
not putting on no dress either.
Bella Bridesmaids, brought to us tonight, talking about their business success story by First Partners Bank. Bethany, let's do it one more time with the Tools for Success seminar coming up September 24th. Lunchtime deal. So I got it memorized now.
Right.
11:30.
It's called Sharpen Your Tools.
Sharpen your tools.
And we'll have 6 to 8 business experts on different topics there, and we'll be putting participants into small groups so they can spend time with each expert for about 10, 15
breakout
minutes.
sessions.
Yeah, little breakout Q&A with kind of in a small group setting.
We want you to go out there and get involved in business. We want your business to grow. That's why we're doing this on occasion, and we appreciate First Partners sponsoring it. We appreciate you,
Thank you.
sharing your story, and thank you, Bethany, for hooking it all up.
Thank you for
And-
dragging me in here.
Well, there she is. That's going to happen if you keep showing up. Back in a minute. Stay tuned.